Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos. Here's a reminder of our top stories. 136 days of waiting ends as the president assents to Budget 2016. Nigerian Army continues pounding of Sambisa forest, rescues more captives, including women and children. EFCC withdraws from the home of former Minister of Aviation, Mr. Fani-Kayode, after laying a 6-hour siege on his Abuja residence. President Barack Obama speaks on Donald Trump's 2016 race to the White House, says there's need to scrutinize the Republican candidates' records. We'd just like to remind you that you can read up more on our top stories on our websites, channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. You can visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device, and also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. And go a step further and interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature, the Channels TV app, for those pictures or videos you want to share with us. Just tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Let's take a look at some pictures that you sent in to our Eyewitness portal. We begin with this one from Ogudu area here in Lagos. It shows a young man sitting dangerously on the back of a moving truck. Our Eyewitness reporter calls on traffic regulators to arrest those involved in these sort of acts. The next photo was sent in from Ikoyi area, still in Lagos. It shows a bent and broken concrete pole hanging over a portion of Temple Street. Our Eyewitness reporter calls on relevant authorities to come and fix it. We're going outside of Lagos to Ogun State, where our next picture comes from. It shows some portion of this bridge being eroded in Obada-Digba area. Our Eyewitness reporter calls on state authorities to fix it ahead of the rainy season. And we're looking at the photo of 3 young men hanging dangerously on the door. Well, I do think there's a mix-up there in that picture. That probably comes okay, yeah, now that's it. A picture of 3 young men hanging dangerously on the doorway of this commercial bus. A reporter who saw this calls on a National Union of Road Transport Workers to caution commercial bus drivers against allowing these sorts of actions on their buses. And so our final photo comes from Omo Orok Street in Calabar, South Local Government Area of Cross River State. It shows refuse being dumped indiscriminately along this road. Our Eyewitness reporter advises residents in the area to show more concern for the environment.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
We'll be going back to discuss the budget sign-in much later, but the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has withdrawn its operatives from the residence of former Aviation Minister Chief Fani-Kayode after a siege that lasted almost 6 hours. Officers of the EFCC had visited his Maitama home at 10 a.m. today, inviting him for questioning on Monday, May 9th, only to return at midday with armed men seeking to arrest him. Although the EFCC says it's carrying out its functions, as Mr. Fani-Kayode has a case to answer over the PDP election funds, Mr. Fani-Kayode said he was surprised at the turn of events after he had promised to show up with his lawyer on Monday. Meanwhile, the Department of State Security Services in Rivers State has arraigned 4 suspects before the State Magistrate Court for allegedly killing an officer of the agency a day before the March 19th rerun election. The suspects are being charged for murder of one Garrick Oyagiri in Ogbagi community, an offense contrary to Section 516 of the Criminal Code Laws of Rivers State 1999. Presiding over the matter, the Chief Magistrate, Suka Rary Andrew Jaja, asked that the prosecution sends the case file to the registrar for onward transmission to the Director of Public Prosecution to be reassigned to a judge in the High Court. According to him, if convicted of the offense, the suspects are liable to death and bail can only be granted by the High Court. He asked the suspects to be remanded in prison custody. Meanwhile, the U.S. administration is seeking to approve a sale of as many as 12 A-29 Super Tucano light attack aircrafts to Nigeria to aid its battle against Boko Haram. This is according to a U.S. official who spoke on condition of anonymity to Reuters news agency. The officials also say that Washington is dedicating more intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance assets to the campaign against Boko Haram in the region and plans to provide additional training to Nigerian infantry forces. Tucanos can be used for training, surveillance or attack. They can also be armed with two-wing mounted machine guns and can carry up to 1,550 kilograms of weapons. We're staying with the fight against insurgency. Troops have rescued 34 women and girls and another 28 children abducted by the Boko Haram sect in Borno State. The rescued hostages are currently being interrogated and profiled at the 7th Division headquarters in Maiduguri, the state capital. Federal troops in a long-range rescue mission in the theater of operation rescued the women and girls in a village called Walasa.
On long-range rescue mission from the 3rd to the 4th of May 2016. During the operation, troops rescued 1 hostages, including young girls in Walasa. Among those rescued are 2 Cameroonians. Along the Alagado axis, troops have continued to clean up the camps to exploit the gains. Accordingly, several discoveries were made. The Boko Haram terrorist administrative and harbor base was discovered. The items that were recovered from those locations included a field hospital, that is a place where they use as field hospital, as well as a factory that they were using to manufacture improvised explosive devices.
Those who have been abducted, because for the period of 2 years now, they have indoctrinated these girls to believe that the Nigerian army troops are those who will come and carry them and rape them or can kill them. When you use this medium to tell them that anytime they see the Nigerian army troops moving, they should quickly state that, oh, I was abducted from so place. What you just see here today will be happening every day. And all those who have been abducted will come back. So those who are saying bring back our girls will definitely see the way we have brought back the girls.
The incoming United Nations Resident Humanitarian Coordinator and Resident Representative to Nigeria is promising to support the federal government in the development and security of the Niger Delta region. Ms. Fatima Samura gave the assurance at a meeting with the Minister of Niger Delta in Abuja. According to her, the United Nations will continue its collaboration with the federal government to ensure development and security of the Niger Delta region. Meanwhile, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs says the federal government is on the verge of creating a trust fund for the development of the region. Meanwhile, Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano has convened a joint meeting with representatives of the Hausa Fulani community, traditional rulers of communities where major grazing activities have taken place, and members of the Fulani and Farmers Cattle Menace Committee. The governor said that the meeting is in response to the increasing clashes between Fulani herdsmen and their host communities in several other states. Governor Obiano explained that he desires to ensure the enforcement of the resolutions reached between the Fulani Farmers Cattle Menace Committee, which he set up last year. Chairman of the Fulani Herdsmen Association, Sadiq Gidado, commended efforts being made by security operatives in Anambra State and appealed to the government to support them in logistics.
Anybody to take laws into their hands. Now that we have such a committee and we have agreed that everybody will compensate everybody for any loss. That is how to do business, and this is a model for people. More importantly, we did agree at the Security Council meeting that we will not allow Fulanis that are carrying AK-47, the military is here, and they gave that clear directive from Abuja. Fulanis are not supposed to carry AK-47 when they are rearing cows. So if you see such people that will cause you trouble, please report them early so that they can be picked up.